So the big bad wolf has blown her house down. Who'd have thought? Sniper Wolf is one of the biggest creators on this platform, with YouTube pushing her content to millions of impressionable young people. She's had a stinky career spanning a decade, winning awards and constantly being relevant, despite the fact that she's drier than a snail in a tub of salt. But it seems to all be crumbling down now. And this happened by doxing one of the most lovable creators on the platform. She's lit the fuse under her fickle content and exposed herself for the cowering little wolf that she is. But a lot of people seem to have forgotten or just don't know that her entire past is shrouded in controversy, which includes lies, scandals, and dramas to creators and also her fans. And today I'm going to show you through her previous controversies how this entire calamitous behaviour that she's been experiencing during the JacksFilms doxing situation is nothing new for YouTube's golden creator. And Sniper Wolf's past is much more horrifying than you think. So hello everyone, I'm Jake Baz. We cover the weird and wonderful on the internet, and today we're going to be doing a bit of a deep dive. Because as I said, a lot of people don't seem to actually know the kind of depths that Sniper Wolf went to in the past. Because when I saw this all happening, it didn't feel alien to me at all. She's always been a bad representation on this platform. She's always lied and obfuscated the truth. And honestly, it's a miracle that she's managed to get through all these problems in the past and just managed to fall upwards. So to me, it only makes sense for me to start with her actual inception of the channel, because she's always stated that Sniper Wolf is her first channel and she's not done anything before, but actually that's a lie. And despite the numerous amount of content that is available that proves this to be wrong, she's continuously tried to hide it for a decade. Just to note, if you enjoy this video, please do hit the like and subscribe. I'd love to see you back. We do loads of weird and wonderful things. So you can think it's a lost artifact from time, you can try and nuke it, but really everything comes to the front. And the reason why she tries to hide it is because if people that watch her content now knew about this, they might look at her a little bit different. So before the mainstream sort of knowledge around Sniper Wolf, she had a channel that has been hidden. And it kind of runs under the moniker of her actual new name now, so SS Sniper Wolf. So the double S's, what do you think they mean? I know she's not part of some extremist group that likes wearing fake mustaches and raising the hand to the sky on a Saturday night. It also doesn't mean that she's silly. It's sexy. And the proof, if you go digging, is very easy to find.
Lord, who is this beautiful, semi-glass nerdy but hot girl? What is your name?
I'm Leah.
Yeah, you look pretty young. You look, I'm going to guess, I'll tell you what, I'm going to guess your age, your height, and your weight. Do you have a website or anything?
I have a YouTube. It's Sexy Sniper.
So sexy. So yeah, if we're going to get past the fact that this interviewer is an absolute creep, some 50-year-old man just talking to an 18-year-old trying to insinuate silly things, this interview here just proves the entire thing. She was called Sexy Sniper and her previous channel had 30k subscribers. And in these videos, I don't think I could actually show you, considering how YouTube has changed over the years, but she was very crass, she was very sexually innuendoed, and it definitely wasn't part of her like child-friendly manner on this platform that it is now. And when she moved over to SS Sniper Wolf, it was intentional. It was try and get away from that and become more of like a casual focused brand. So even from the offset in 2013, she was working on how to try and get famous and try and push this forward, which I mean everyone does. I fucking try and do it, but the depths that she tried to go to hide this was insane. And I believe that is, as I said, exactly because now she is a child content creator. What she was creating in the past, like 2013 when she switched over with the gameplay stuff, that was quite similar in that it wasn't aimed towards that crowd at all. And also with the future dramas that follow this, I'm going to show you obviously how she's totally gone back on her word around this, as she has been very demeaning to other women YouTubers on the platform multiple times, but we'll carry this on. But if you want even more proof around this entire situation, I've got a screenshot here. Yeah, this screenshot is of her liking a YouTube video from herself at Sexy Sniper. So it's quite clear to say, if you wasn't that person before, you wouldn't have said it, but then you also wouldn't have done this. It's not like she's liking a video of an entire copycat. This also shows that it's a rebrand because she managed to move her entire stuff onto this main Twitter that she's got now. And as you can see, someone found out and managed to have a bit of fun with this handle. And then also you can dig back into her files and find these brilliant tweets that sort of explain that she hasn't changed at all. One thing I found was between someone called Minnesota Burns, which when she faced a little bit of criticism, she replied to Minnesota Burns, "You have such a fucked up impression of me, probably derived from bad experiences being rejected rejected her. Hashtag typical virgin. So she was clearly just as cutthroat back then. But as you can see, the sexy sniper art is there. So she rebranded. She said that she's not this person multiple times, including in the Before They Were Famous video. But like I said, she's tried to hide this because of the over-sexualization of herself and the inappropriate things that she said. But 2 clicks and it's easy to see that that's the case. And this was worth covering first because this shows her entire thing is a lie. As you'll see further in this video, she manages to bring this idea that she is this perfect creator with no problems. And the women that she ends up flaming, calling them all sort of demeaning nature of words, purely, I think, in a seam of jealousy, are all just so ironic because of her past. So we've laid the foundations. This was all built on a lie. But as I've said, this is just the start of the calamity. But for the context of the video, I'm going to have to give you a recap of the JackFilms Sniper Wolf situation. And if you're tired about hearing this, please do skip to the next chapter of my video. But if you are interested in a whole recap, I'm going to do this for you now. Because with all the things floated about, it just needs to be concise. And it's so important to explain this situation because you can see her character being dotted throughout all her past, and we can link it in there. So the fallout of this situation was just insane. So this all started when JackFilms created a YouTube channel called JJJ JackFilms, where he would essentially just rip off her content, but in a way that was fun and friendly and happy, exploiting her weaknesses to all the world so they could see how terrible her content is. And yeah, the scab that is Sniper Wolf wasn't having it, so she kind of had a couple of arguments with him on Twitter, that sort of thing. But when he consistently kept doing it and she consistently refused to update any of her videos to make them either better quality or to include people in the description of what she's ripping off, she decided to get a little down and dirty and start actually to dox JackFilms. This was obviously so wrong. Everyone went in meltdown over it. And Sniper Wolf, she found the funny in it for some weird reason because this is such a normal thing to do. And she doubled down with this photo with her sister, which honestly just fuck off. And then even triple down with it with this video.
This guy's entire channel is just me. Every single video for the past few months has been about me. And it's just like shitting on me. And then his streams. This dude is just like low-key harassing me. Like, should I get a restraining order?
And yeah, to me, it seems like she lost her head, but she had gone through this for months and been quiet about it after all these little naggles on Twitter. She has essentially broken YouTube terms of service and she should have been banned. We have previously had other creators that have been banned for this exact type of thing, not only on Twitch, but on YouTube, on Instagram. Like, people do get silenced for this sort of stuff, especially when it is such a large creator, when you are inciting violence essentially on that person. So despite her uproar of, oh, this guy's obsessed with me, it just got worse. YouTube's silence was also deafening, and after a long hard think of nearly a fucking week, instead of deleting her on this platform, which is what everyone should have expected to happen, they actually demonetized her, which once again, unheard of. No one's ever done something like that and got away with it. And no one could really understand, considering the terms of service around YouTube and just like general ethics, why she wasn't wiped off the platform. And to me, there was one potential reason why: views. The amount of money that she brought in is ridiculous. The amount of money she still brings in is ridiculous, even though there's no ads on her videos. There's still like the pop-up ads in the side for YouTube. And this was only solidified by the fact that YouTube actually managed to silently change the TOSs so it would fit Sniper Wolf's agenda. So they managed to edit around this community guidelines to actually add in the fact that we can't control anything off platform. So because of this YouTube terms of service change that was just silently made and no one kicked up a fuss about until someone actually found out about it, she was allowed to post, but she wouldn't be getting kicked off the service, which obviously could show once you make enough money, you are kind of untouchable. But this then led to Sniper Wolf to create another YouTube terms of service violation, because you see, YouTube did demonetize her. It took a while, but that was the case. That did happen. But that was only for her first channel. And I think you'll find massive corporations like this, they will have multiple channels to rinse. So Sniper Wolf had her second and third channel that were both fully monetized whilst her main channel wasn't. And Sniper Wolf decided in her moniker of wisdom to actually start uploading the exact same videos she did on her first channel on her second channel, which you've got to respect the graft. Because obviously she's going to be getting money from these, so why wouldn't I do that? What's the point of uploading on my main channel when I'm not getting money? Obviously in this situation, it's embarrassing. You've just doxed someone, you should be off the platform, and you're trying to get cheddar on your second channel because YouTube will allow it. But obviously they don't allow it because YouTube Terms of Service says that you cannot upload on a second channel whilst you're demonetized, as it counts as ban evading. So everyone started kicking up a fuss about this, and then YouTube, instead of being like, oh yeah, that's the second one in a row, we're gonna have to be real here, Leah, but see you later, get out the door, they incredibly decided just to demonetize all three. So, oh, we're fine then, nothing happened. Close your eyes. Just an absolute calamity of a situation, and it shows once that money involved, everything kind of changes. And after this constant situation of multiple people, including myself, I'm sorry, making videos on her, honestly like 90% of YouTube, and everyone understood that what she had done is so wrong, she shouldn't be here, and she needs to get the backlog nuked. Turning off comments on YouTube and Insta, perfect, yeah, best way to get rid of accountability. And also tactically deleting quite a few of her old videos because people were going back in the backlog and seeing how crazy she was back then. YouTube decided to run out about a week after this another YouTube update, which included pausing comments, which at the surface sounds like a pretty good idea if you're involved in a scandal, but it is literally 7 days after the Sniper Wolf stuff, and when you've already changed your terms of service multiple times and also been very shaky behind the scenes around this entire Sniper Wolf situation, adding a change that lets you pause comments, so if anyone gets in drama, you can just pause your comments. Everyone can see the old comments, but they can't see these new nasty ones coming in. It just seems a little bit tactical, doesn't it? And it would make you think, oh, what does Sniper Wolf have on YouTube? What dirt does she have that she can expose him for? But she'll have nothing. I think, quite frankly, the actual full fact of this is that she is a creator that has made so much money for them spouting out this shit that any sort of criticism around her, it's worth it, because at the end of the day, people are going to keep watching YouTube. And I mean, I will. But as long as we highlight this and understand that in the moniker of this entire situation, she is built on a lie, and this should have never happened, we can understand YouTube's motives just a little bit. In this reaction to this drama, Sniper Wolf decided to have some time off because now she's not getting monetized. Bear in mind, this post came approximately 2 days after she got demonetized on all channels, taking a mental health break, which you're gonna fucking need after you've been such a twat. But all of this comes together with what I've mentioned and what I'm gonna mention further in this video. All of these scandals, lies, dramas, this isn't a glitch in the system, this Jack Film Sniper Wolf situation. This is simply the woman she is. She'll never admit she's wrong. She said sorry once in the entire thing, and apparently that was AI generated. All she will do is try to obfuscate the truth around what's happened. She will never admit she's wrong until it gets to a head where it's like, I'm gonna lose my job.
Now I'm panicking.
Don't panic.
No, I am, because I'm going to lose my job.
And basically, she's a bit tapped. But quite frankly, I would be too if I was going out with Sausage. But most importantly, this entire doxing situation links with yet another doxing situation, because you probably won't remember, but I definitely do, because I was back on the platform back then. But this isn't a new thing. She has actually doxed another creator before. So it's not new to her, but this new doxing situation I'm going to talk to you about, her attempt at doxing was terrible and actually sickening. So for this next Sniper Wolf story, we have to go back to 2013. Birds were chirping, the sun was brighter, and Sniper Wolf was still a prick. She just started to cement her entire channel, and this is when Enigma Hood comes into the fray. So Enigma Hood was this kind of like small YouTuber back in the day. He was a bit of a weirdo. His channel's dead, but he's been around for years. He's still uploading now. But even for the 2013 standard, he was a bit of an incel nerd, you know. Hood up, not showing his face, just a bit of a weirdo, alright? But he became Sniper Wolf's first certified hater, and quite clearly he reveled in it, until this unfortunate circumstance occurred.
And today I want to talk about this YouTuber. She goes by the name Sexy Sniper, but her name is Leah. You know, she makes mostly stupid videos, talking about absolutely nothing.
So this entire video that blew up, it was just proper criticism from the part of Enigma Hood. Just criticising the way that she brings things towards the table, which, as we know, this has continued through to the present. It did have some genuine criticism to it, like, for example, the vapidness of her content. But in true 2013 fashion, he did manage to handle it with quite a few claims that are just generally sexist in this time.
Nothing, but the real draw to her channel are her boobs.
And yeah, looking back, it puts a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. But quite ironically, because Sniper Wolf was featured in the video, there were clips that were shown in his video to explain his points, which is under fair use. She didn't take very kindly to that. This then turned the stomach of the Big Bad Wolf, where she actually decided to DMCA claim him.
Hater spotlight is on this guy
who has dedicated countless hours to making videos on every little thing I do. He pretty much wears nothing but a hoodie, puts a hood over his face, and makes vlogs crying about every little thing he doesn't like. He made a video using my content. He re-uploaded my video and essentially just insulted me over it. And I really don't like people using my content without permission, especially if it's in a negative way, but if it's in a positive way and you ask me first, it's fine, go for it.
SS Sniper Wolf, aka Sexy Sniper, or whatever the hell she wants to call herself, has censored one of my videos. She has filed a false DMCA.
So she uses her platform to get an advantage over someone. She copyright strikes someone because they are criticizing her content. And her entire points at the time was literally around the fact that she is in these videos. It was so wrong for her to go in this situation, especially as we know now with all the Jack Film stuff. One of the main points was the fact that, oh, well, you just rip content and you don't give any credits. Well, he's actually given explicit credits about who it's from, and the content, even at that standard at that time, did come under fair use. So for her to copyright strike it, it's obviously nasty on her part. She knows what she's doing. Aaliyah seems to be one of them people that you get on the wrong side of her, you know what's coming to you. And this is a perfect example of it. But we're not even scratching at the surface, because this DMCA claim actually comes over to bite her. As although this drama was in 2013, it turns out that she has been following him for the years following, literally. As he created more and more content that was based around her. I'm waiting for when she comes to me. A couple of years later, like we saw in the Jack Film situation, it all came to a head with her seeing all these comments and stuff about him. And in her wisdom, which I can only explain as like she kind of ran out of video ideas and just thought, all right, I'll throw this one out here. She manages to dox this guy, this Enigma Hood, which, bear in mind, at this point with Enigma Hood and his ketchup-stained jumper, he hasn't been relevant in years on the platform. This Sniper Wolf stuff was the biggest stuff for him. So she has been following his channel just to try and get as much dirt on him as possible, and it turns out the original copyright claim, when you actually copyright claim something, you get someone's full name. And this led to her first ever lawsuit. So what Sniper Wolf decided to do with this full name is she decided to Google him and try and find out where he's from. And she found out where he's from, and she just guessed that this person is this person. And unfortunately, the person that she chose was, one, wrong, but also two, they were on an offenders registry.
So SS Sniper Wolf has decided to slander my name by accusing me of being a offender. You are not allowed to accuse someone of a criminal offense and then paint them as a criminal, as a offender. One of the most odious and repugnant crimes in the world.
Enigma Hood was obviously furious at this because despite him being an incel nerd, he was not a predator. And after deliberations, he decided to actually try and sue Sniper Wolf. So he sued YouTube Fullscreen, Sausage, her perfect ex-boyfriend. But this ended up going wrong with him because he couldn't prove that this has caused actual some harm to him in where he lives. So the case was eventually dropped. But yeah, as we've seen with her recent lawsuit with Sausage, which exposes all of the content around this time to be entirely fake, all the gameplays to be fake, all scripted by him, it shows that she has a little bit of an inkling to want to get sued. And this obviously massively backfired at the time because she just called someone a predator on YouTube and essentially tried to get away with it. It was so morally wrong. She didn't fact check it. She just stated it as like an offhand comment in a full video dedicated to this guy.
Actually can't wait to do this video. He's been stalking me for the past 2 years or so, maybe more, almost 3 years. I have him blocked on everything, but he still continues to watch my videos, stalk me, and make response videos talking shit about me. He's a little upset. A couple of years ago, he re-uploaded one of my videos, and you can't just take somebody else's content and re-upload it and monetize it. So I filed the copyright claim with YouTube trying to take it down. And in the copyright process, I got his real name, and of course I googled his name, and it turns out he is a registered offender. He's 30-something years old, lives with his parents still, makes YouTube videos with a hood on.
Just to me shows how snide she can be, how nasty she can be if she really wants to. If she's getting any form of criticism, And that's seen now in the Jax film Sniper Wolf stuff, but this has trailed through her entire career. And yeah, this one did damage her reputation somewhat. She never said sorry, but she managed to get away with it by not getting fully sued. But with me speaking about how she is horrible to creators, it's only right that I go down the next alleyway of this entire situation that evolved into actually being everyone against her. And you might have forgotten about this if you haven't been on the platform for a while, but basically she started a couple of fights with some women, essentially calling them skets, and it didn't turn out well.
If you're not, like, he's boosting her, like, on YouTube. Like, just putting her in everything. I know, he better, no, but she's, I think she's dating his friend. Yeah, her roommate. She's just like, I'ma just fuck everybody to get a free room.
Oh my god.
This is why I hate girls. Everyone a hoe.
Yeah. Hey, who's that new girl he has? Like Summer
I
or
don't
something?
know.
Is that a model?
Oh my god, that's not a model. If that's a model, my left toe can be a model.
A lot of makeup.
So this entire thing snapped FaZe Banks. He got really furious about this, as she was essentially just like shaming people for being in the creator space and being a woman that's attractive, almost in a case of jealousy, which is very ironic, as I've said, because of Sexy Sniper, because that was quite literally an example of doing something like that. Yeah, Banks, because of Alyssa Violet and Summer Rae getting shat on, basically, he lost his mind. Talking shit on stream about Alyssa and Summer for no other reason than she's busted and jealous. Stay in your lane, you fucking rat. Which, I mean, is a violation. But then he dropped maybe one of the most seminal things in this entire thing. You're Doug, my guy, at FaZe Censor. How many times did Sniper Wolf hit you up with that FaZe dick while she had a boyfriend? If you don't know, throughout Sniper Wolf's entire channel, she has done multiple videos about her breaking up with a boyfriend and getting back together and doing stuff. It happened literally every couple of weeks. It was so embarrassing. And as we probably know from the lawsuit that has gone on between Sausage and her, I think this was actually just entirely scripted. And this is made even more obvious to me because the fallout here where FaZe Censor actually comes and backs up his buddy is just embarrassing to her.
That's the truth, guys. I really did not want to get involved in the situation. I know what's true in my heart. Sniper Wolf did try to get with me. So Sniper Wolf responds to Yanette's tweet saying, LMAO, your boyfriend was texting me and was trying to hook up with me before he made you famous. Nice ass implants, by the way. At least mine is real.
So once again, yeah, just totally degrading to his missus. And obviously these tweets are in response to the FaZe Banks stuff, but it's aimed at Yannick Garcia because she was at the time Censor's girlfriend. So in this world in 2016, they decided to have a little bit of beef. And Aaliyah must love having her pants pulled down by other creators because, once again, it happens.
But that's not my business. I'm not going to defend or attack you because I'm not interested in making people look bad. And that's
so yeah, when the fuck did I say this? Well, I think you'll find he has receipts.
So here you guys go. This is the same exact text message. May 11th, 2015 at 12:48 a.m. Sounds good. This was a week before. May 18th. Hi, you're cute.
Hi, you're cute. So there we go. She never actually rebuked this because you can't see actually who it is. But she will know full well that she's finished. And the reason why I know she knows that she's finished is because Sausage, when they finally got back together, decided to give FaZe Censor a bit of a rub-in. Because, you know, when you compare the physicality of FaZe Censor and Sausage, obviously only one of them's going to win in a fight. And that's going to be the meat boy.
Evan responds, Leah has been talking to a lawyer. It took her a while as we were out of the country for almost 3 weeks. She has all the old phones, and there's some texts that aren't even when using recovery software to recover deleted text or loading up her old laptops with iMessage. I don't like you, and would normally be fine with her proceeding to sue, but I won't want you as part of my life for the next 6 to 18 months.
So, the threatening action. Did this action ever happen? Of course it didn't. Because he's got all the receipts, he knows what's going on. He's in no bad blood whatsoever around this situation if it ever got to law. He's not damaged his reputation. If anything, she's damaged hers by bringing this entire thing up and blowing it up into a million things, trying to insult his girlfriend for attention. She does seem to be nasty to women, and she's had that thing in her of being nasty the entire way through, which, considering the previous style of her content, is quite laughable. And also the fact she's going for Yannick Garcia, who is a weather presenter. Like, pick your battles. But obviously Sausage did nothing. Leah did nothing. And this kind of changed her mentality where she wanted to get away from all this drama. So she started going a lot more silent on social media. And that ended up with her changing tact on her entire channel in the first place. I really do believe this is the thing that pivoted her away from gameplay, and good riddance. But as we know, it only got worse, didn't it? This is just yet another example of her lying about a situation and trying to prove everyone wrong, and then when it goes, oh, tits up, she's just going to either do the silent treatment and try and ignore everything, or just dissipate into society. Which as a content creator, when you're that size, is impossible. And she does seem to be wanting to get her permanent day in court, doesn't she? Because she's been arrested twice, she's had 2 lawsuits against her, she's had one that she's tried to give herself. It's like she totally doesn't believe that anything that is going on is her fault at all, which plays into the character that she is now with this situation that's dropped, as well as everything in the past. This has been multiple times, and one perfect example of this is actually her first drama that she really got into, which was with someone called Girl Gone Gamer. It really grew her channel. It made her a staple, being on 1,000 subscribers after only a couple of weeks before being on less than 40k. And maybe this is where the seed was planted, because she realised if she does this and it gets a lot of attention, any publicity is better than no publicity, right? Well, considering she's managed to pitter-patter her way around throughout all these dramas and get away with it, that's probably right, innit? So this Girl Gone Gamer, she has now changed into a different content creator, and Sniper Wolf's kind of sticked around that area.
As you guys have seen on my videos, I get literally at least 10 comments in a video asking me 1v1 Girl Gone Gamer. I decided to make this video today because she actually unfollowed me off Twitter and blocked me because I asked for a 1v1. It doesn't actually get her gameplays. And there have been hundreds of comments on my videos about how she's not the one playing. And after 400,000, she hasn't even done a live commentary?
And whether Girl Gone Gamer's actual stuff was fake, it doesn't really matter anyway when you put in the lens the fact that she has called another woman YouTuber out for this exact instance. Meanwhile, as we know from the very recent Sausage lawsuit, it turns out that Sausage had been scripted every single video for her anyway. So does it matter that she's faking content if you're doing the exact same thing? She used to deny at the time that all the content was fake, but it was so obvious to see that potentially that could be the case. I remember multiple scandals about her just flicking around with a gamepad. All of her videos and live commentaries, as she says, were pre-recorded, and she'd just dub over it. There's a reason you never ever saw any sort of events for these games. So not only to go after a woman full stop for doing something similar, just to try and boost your little ego, but then to also find out retrospectively that this entire backlog is fake, it's embarrassing. And potentially it does show that Sniper Wolf either has this sort of flippant nature to her, or that this entire thing has always been a ruse and she kind of gets off to it. This was definitely one of the pivotal moments of her growing a channel, and as you can see, when she actually moved away from gameplay and got out of the drama spotlight, that is when her channel began to fully blossom. But in the early years, she was drowned in it. But it is worth noting that even when she did pivot away from this stuff, it manages to follow her like a bad smell, as her character has always been the same. She's never been funny, I've never found her funny, and I feel that when in the early days when she pivoted from her content, she decided that she wanted to try and be this funny comedian, which when you're a slime ball is a bit of a bad thing to do. So in 2019, in the earlier years of her changing her style to reaction content, she got caught in a bit of a problem around transphobia, which at the time the 11-year-olds that were watching it probably found it fucking hilarious, but it was a very bad thing to do.
Excuse me, sir, there's a young man in here. Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
Okay, sorry, sir. Ma'am, I'm so sorry. How dare I not ask you what you identify as?
You can tell how genuine her reactions are because she's not inflecting a voice out. She's not even enjoying it.
Did you just assume my gender?
I'll come and quickly assume your gender by saying that you are a terrible representation to all women.
How dare you? Do you see my pink purse? You gonna call me a sir? You see my pink shirt? You see this mascara? Are you gonna call me a sir? I'll show you a sir. Which is it?
She's just digging it, isn't she? Maybe around this time she would just try to get her videos to 10 minutes.
Not your regular ma'am. Like, okay, I won't misgender you, okay? You're gonna have to calm down, sir. Oh
my god, I did it again. Comment below if you saw this person, is it a sir or a man? I'm gonna tell the whole LGBT community about this. You will lose money. GameStop stock dropped to 0. Come on, man. That's like me putting my hair up and getting mad if people don't call me a guy.
Yeah, she still goes. It does feel embarrassing to watch. So this entire clip got her in some hot water because it is quite literally transphobic. It doesn't matter what she's saying is for a joke or not, even though it's a fucking shit joke and she's draining it for everything that it has. But it repeats this transphobic narrative that was going around like, I identify as an attack helicopter, that sort of thing, which totally disregards a person's actual gender as what they want to identify with. I've had this similar issue with people with this person called Elphaba that I've been covering on my channel, where she identifies as a she, but because of the fact that she's such a twat, people misgender her to try and take the piss. So to repeat this sort of stuff to embarrass it because the person in question has a beard, whether she meant it in a transphobic way or not, that doesn't fucking matter, does it? She stated this for a shit joke and just tried to play with it. Obviously, everything she touches, she screws. This then led to a lot of backlash, such as in YouTube comments, on Twitter, on all social media really, and Sniper Wolf decided that, oh well, I can't be dealing with this. So the video's still up if you want to go and watch it, but you won't find this clip. And the reason why you won't find this clip is she's just edited it out like it doesn't exist. I don't see a clip, so it didn't happen. She never admitted her guilt in this. She never apologized to anyone that could have potentially been offended, and really she just made an arse of the situation. But she's never made an arse of any situation before, has she? It's just another example of how Sniper Wolf is just this crass person. She will never apologize for anything. She will double down on a word. She'll pretend that something doesn't exist, such as deleting it, and she'll never admit to the calamity of actions that she makes. But yeah, she's just a scab that is willing to be picked. And further shows the character of her, which with this next thing is actually very relevant because of the scumminess of what she did. Because honestly, this one does genuinely baffle my mind. So essentially, there was this little girl called Kyra who had been battling a terminal illness, which, may I mention, condolences to all the family. It's a horrible thing. And she managed to go on the Adam22 podcast where she talked to him, which also, just side note, considering what he's gone down into, it's actually quite surprising, considering it's a child there. But anyway.
Who's your favorite person you follow on TikTok?
Sniper Wolf. She's like a really big YouTuber.
Who's your favorite? Sniper Wolf. You don't know about her. We gotta show you. You gotta put me on. Appreciate you for coming. I work on the Sniper Wolf team for you.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna try to get in touch with her. I know some people who know her, so hopefully we can make it happen.
Wait, really?
So yeah, all this girl wants to do is meet Sniper Wolf. She is in her final days, unfortunately. This is a horrible situation. And I would hope that anyone who is in that situation, whether you're famous or not, you have something like that with, even with a family member, and you would want to see them in their final days. You'd want to put a bit of a spark in the eye of someone. But Sniper Wolf, in her crass decision making, decided to just not do anything about it. She acknowledged it and she messaged the parents to say, oh, well, I'll record a video for her, I'll meet her on FaceTime, whatever. But then she never followed up, and the fallout is ridiculous. And this all comes under the moniker of Keemstar, which, I mean, yeah. Keemstar has always had it out for Sniper Wolf. Even in the Girl Gone Gamer stuff, he was covering it, so he's always known how much of a scummy person she is, and obviously it makes it easier for him to rip on her. So please bear that in mind with the tweets I'm going to show you. So he posted a video about how Kyra has been ghosted on Twitter, and in response to this, instead of actually, you know, maybe hopping on forth, being like, oh yeah, I have, I'll get in touch, she decides to block him, which is another defense tactic that we've seen from Sniper Wolf in the past. When she's getting any sort of problem, she'll just wipe you, because if she can't see you, it's not happening, innit? Put your fingers in your ears, kids. Where, as you can see, she just decides to not reply to the person multiple times, just apologize, saying, oh shit, my days are busy. Well, there's something wrong with that, in the fact that this person literally has days left and they would just like that final memory to be there. Just constantly making excuses. And quite frankly, what I think's happening here is she's just trying to get away from it, which, considering the context, is so nasty and it's so wrong. And when you get caught called out on it, you decide, oh, well, shit, I'm just going to disappear. It's so bad. She claims it was an issue with the time difference, but I beg to differ. And then she decided to go on a little bit of a grandstand talking about on Twitter how she is not doing that and shut up, basically. Taking time out a day to do something like this that creates drama and incites the hate towards her, as opposed to, you know, maybe actually calling this person. I'm sure this child only wanted like maybe 5 minutes with her to have a FaceTime call and just talk to her because she's looked up to her for so long. But once again, the character of Sniper Wolf, she doesn't care. It's not about that. And maybe because she got called out, it made her just not do it full stop. So unfortunately, this Kyra actually passed away without getting this message. And to me, it's like, well, yeah, you can't force creators to do something for someone, no matter what the situation is. But if you consider the context of the situation and also the fact that she accepted and said, I will do this for her. She probably got told, Kyra, she probably got told by her mum and dad that this is going to happen. And for it to never happen as like her final wish, it's just so nasty. It's so disgusting. If you weren't going to do it, don't say that you're going to do it. And to argue on Twitter about it instead of actually just going and doing it and getting it done, why would you do that apart from the fact of maybe out of spite because someone's called you out? It is obviously so wrong. I think throughout the entirety of this, we need to show that Sniper Wolf is some nasty kind of character. She has always lied, she's always got involved in drama, and she's always thought that she's on a pedestal above everyone else. All these past controversies show at least some elements of what we've seen in the Sniper Wolf and Jack films situation. So her character hasn't changed one bit in 10 years. And now we see the whole deck of cards fall. She's demonetized for however long on YouTube. She is hated by literally everyone outside of the bubble of her 10-year-old fan base. And she's totally alienated herself from being near any other creator in the future because of her nasty intentions to harm others. Whether it is like bitching about other women, demeaning someone's character with transphobia, or ghosting a fan in their final days, this entire thing encapsulates Sniper Wolf as a person. She's managed to get away with it for so long, and I do actually genuinely believe that at least somewhat this is going to be damaged in the future. But ultimately, with all these sort of dramas that went on, and bear in mind I've only covered maybe 40% of them, how was she not punished before? And how is she now able to be in this privileged position where YouTube have changed terms of service for her just so that she can be on the platform? Quite frankly, I just think she's a nasty piece of work. Her past follows her present, and the present will follow her future, because this is Sniper Wolf.
Respect my privacy, respect any other YouTuber's privacy, because it's hard to believe, but you know, we're people just like you, like exactly like you. We're not special or anything. Like, I'm a person too. You wouldn't like it if somebody followed you home or came up to your house. So, you know, just like respect other people, respect their privacy.
But please do let me know what you think in the comments. I hope this video was enjoyable. If you did, hit the like and sub, and I hope you enjoyed this longer form content. But I've been Jake Baz. Take care.